Hey guys, where do I even begin? So, Chains of Command is a unique body armor and it allows you to have a special kind of minion build, and you actually choose a weapon for your minion, which already opens so many different build ideas. In the second part of the video I'm gonna talk in more details how Chains of Command work, but to make it simple, your animate guardian summons animated weapons, and those animated weapons are the weapon that you gave to animate guardian, and you can have up to 50 animated weapons. We do also have animate weapon skill, but to use it manually you need a weapon on the ground. But for this build I wanted it to be pretty automatic, so I'm only using minions from Chains of Command. Now my goal for this build was to design a build to deal with Legion, and more specifically 3-way and even 4-way Legion battles. So I make a build in path of building. Numbers look good, I have over 7k effective life, I have millions of damage, I have smooth gameplay, I don't need to click many buttons, most of the things are automated, and it is pretty cheap build. I am using Rebuke of the Vaal sword, because it goes up to 1000 DPS, so I just want to see what is it good for. So I started the build, started leveling, and later realized that Fortify, which I wanted to use for animated weapons, doesn't work with this. It does work for normal animate weapon skill, but it doesn't work for this because it's considered as triggered skill, and Fortify doesn't work with that. Okay, maybe that's not a big deal, I'm just gonna use some other support gem and hope that these animate weapons will be tank enough. Maybe you can already guess where I'm going with this. So I put on all the items that I wanted, started mapping, and these weapons just destroy all the map content. It feels smooth, it feels good, and then Legion shows up. Legion is what I build this for. By the way, Frozen Legion enemies now properly work with Chains of Command. So the Legion, in low tier maps I didn't really feel any issues, but once I went into the red tier maps, Legion arrays just started destroying my animate weapons. Dangerous map mods, all the AoE effects, my animate weapons don't really stand a chance. They do have 75% elemental resistances, but I think the lack of Fortify really hurts them. And I did try a 3-way Legion battle. It wasn't bad, but I could barely get one line of rewards. And this build is not fully optimized. I'm currently only level 86, but I will not be playing this anymore. You can say that I failed this build. So this is not a build guide video, but I do hope that you can learn something from this or get some build ideas. By the way, this is a Necromancer. Necromancer has more minion speed, minion duration, a bit more minion damage and life. However, since this build relies on Worm Flask quite a lot, it will probably be better to play as a Cyan Necromancer Pathfinder. You still get decent things from Necromancer, and as a Pathfinder, you do get a passive Flask charge regeneration, so it does help maintain those Worm Flask charges. And Worm Flask allows you to trigger those animated weapons more reliably. So next I'm gonna go in more details how this thing works, show path for building, show items for animate guardian and how to properly activate them, skills, links and other stuff. As always, timestamps and other info in video description. Okay, now the difficult part. So the Chains of Command, and there are two kind of animated weapons. One is being triggered when animated guardian does the kill, and it seems to be 100% chance to trigger that. And another animate weapons is level 18 and it has 10% chance to be triggered when animated guardian's weapon does the kill. So it's 10% chance for animated guardian weapons to summon another animated guardian weapon, and 100% chance for animated guardian to summon animated guardian weapon. Whew. Okay, next. So I was actually researching to see what the numbers are for those animated guardian weapons. I'm gonna pull out the wiki. Actually, first, so these animated guardian weapons are counted as normal animated weapons, and helmet enchantment for animated guardian weapons for animated weapon do affect animated guardian's weapon. So if you check this one would increase their duration. This one has 64.6 second duration. If I put this on, 68.6, so it does work. To compare the numbers, if you look into PoEDB to see what exactly animate guardian weapon is, you can see the numbers. You can see the damage. The lower level one is 154% base damage, the higher one is 160%. That's the flat damage as well. Now if you compare it to normal animated weapons, you can see that normal animated weapons have much higher damage multiplier. We also have increased attack speed and better flat physical damage added, and longer duration. So these weapons do less damage than normal animated weapons. However, I wasn't able to find their life numbers, and I'm not sure if it is the same as normal animated weapons. And maybe you should where is it? That's level 70. So if it is like that, then they at least should have pretty decent amount of life. And also in path of building, there is no skill for this from the body armor. So you have to kind of simulate that with animated weapons. Where is it? With animate weapons skill. But if you enter level 20, it will use normal animated weapons version, which is not correct because it would deal much higher damage. So you kind of want to see that it deals between 154 and 160% base damage, right? So I just checked the damage numbers to find around level 7 and 9 would be equal damage numbers. However, if you enter level 7 animate weapon in PvP, it will be much lower level, which means they will also have much lower accuracy. So the damage numbers are never going to be accurate, and it's pretty hard to know exactly how much damage this would be dealing. By the way, you do not need to link this body armor. I even named my character. I do not need to link this chest. You just need to put gems inside it, and all the gems inside this body armor will affect those animated weapons. But you keep your animated guardian somewhere else, like in a 0.6 link helmet, like this one. So I have animated guardian linked with fortify to make him tankier, empower to give him more life and damage as well, and combustion. I'm gonna talk about that later. And for animated weapons, I have minion damage, elemental focus, elemental damage of attacks, rootless, increased duration, and added lighting damage. Added lighting damage I started using later on. So the most damage is lighting. To properly enter animated guardians items, you go to your items, you select manage, you add another item set, and then just add the items to the animate guardians. By the way, like I said, this is not optimized. I was actually using flame sight, testing it. That was before I started using added lighting damage. So instead I would now be using the other helmet, which is called Thunder Sight. So this helmet, you know what, maybe I should not be talking about this helmet. I'm not even sure if it's worth using. You would probably want a helmet with, let's say, nearby enemies have -9 to lighting resistance, depending on the element that you have the most damage for. Next, I just added Bloodbond. Yeah, Bloodbond, because it just increases maximum life by a percentage and gives some regen. I just had it, but you could use Grackle Belt, whatever it's pronounced. Dance of the Offeret. This is very nice, and I wasn't aware of this. So these boots would give onslaught while not on low mana. If you give it to Animate Guardian, it always triggers onslaught. So my Animate Guardian has permanent onslaught. Where's my Animate Guardian? So as you can see, he's pretty fast. So he has permanent onslaught. So that's good, because it does give attack speed and movement speed. So yeah, that's how you manage your Animate Guardian weapons. Oh, by the way, once you manage the weapons and items in here, you also need to select the Animate Guardian and select the weapon set, and use your Animate Guardian weapon sets, not just weapon item set, and then do the same for animate weapon. Another thing, so the helmet, like I said, the helmet enchantment for animate weapon does work for these special weapons as well. So I was experimenting, and increased weapon animate weapon duration didn't seem to be that worth it. I just wanted more reliability, kind of. So I was trying to use this chance to create an additional animate weapon copy, but it still feels kind of awkward. If you look at this, it still doesn't always trigger it, and it's kind of annoying. See, sometimes It kills for enemies, doesn't trigger anything. It does have a very short cooldown. If I pull this, it has 0.05 second cooldown. So if your animated guardian or animated weapon, actually no, if your animated guardian's weapon kill multiple enemies with one hit, like with melee splash, it would only have a chance to trigger one weapon, and that's, I think, is very bad. It makes it so inconsistent. It kind of punishes you for good clear speed, but I guess I kind of understand because it would be too OP. But still, I would love to see animate Chains of Command to be reworked, because currently you can't really reliably generate it against single target. Like I can't do Shaper, I can't really do Elder, because I would have to carry a lot of Warm Flasks, and even then it doesn't proc enough weapons. Right, next, so I tried to automate this as much as I could. So here's a cool idea. Wave of Conviction does physical damage and converts 25% of it into lightning and into fire, equal amount. So if you do not have any fire or lightning damage to spells, you will be applying both fire and lightning exposure at the same time with one wave of conviction. And I am focusing mostly on fire and lightning damage, since I do have, where is it? I do have anger and I do have wrath, and also have level 1 precision, just to trigger, where is it? God damn it! Just to trigger this for myself to get elemental resistances. Oh, to automate things. So with wave of conviction, I do fire things, or whatever, how many things. First of all, I apply fire and lightning exposure. Then I have curse on hit with elemental weakness, so I lower enemy fire elemental resistance even more. And then I do have this weapon, trigger socketed spells when used as skill. So when I use wave of conviction, I create desecrate, and I also trigger spirit offering. And spirit offering also, because I'm necromancer, gives me some ES, gives some damage to minions and some ES as well, making them a bit tankier. So it's pretty cool. You can just keep doing this. It does have 4-second cooldown, so it's not very reliable, but it's very smooth. And for necromancer to automate things is very nice, because necromancers usually have so many buttons to click, it becomes too difficult to manage. Of course, I have conviction to teleport my minions to me, and that's all. I just spam wave of conviction, teleport minions to me, and then try to not get hit and not die. So I also do have Mind Over Matter, Eldritch Battery, so I can reserve all of my mana. By the way, managing mana was kind of an issue. I didn't want to take these notes, and in order to not take these notes, I had to get reduced mana reservation somewhere. I didn't want to use Enlighten as well. So I crafted this amulet with essences to get minimum movement speed. It's also very important to get minimum movement speed, and it also has reduced mana reservation, and that was enough for me to squeeze in level 1 precision. It only requires 21 mana. You can also, I guess, link it with blood magic and wouldn't need that, but you do want minimum movement speed on both rings and amulet. Now the shield, I wanted to put on my auras in, so I wanted to use +2 socketed aura gems shield. I have anger level 20 and wrath level 20, both become level 22. You can also use a shield, which name I'm not even gonna try to pronounce, but it gives 20% aura effect, and if you could corrupt that shield, it doesn't have life, but it does give decent amount of ES. Another thing for Animate Guardian is to use Combustion to lower enemy fire resistance even more, but most of the damage is lighting, so it's not that great. You could probably use like Multi-Strike. By the way, my Animate Guardian has Victario's Charity Shield, and when my Animate Guardian hits a target, it has 5% chance to grant frenzy charges to nearby allies, and the free frenzy charges, those animated weapons get a lot of damage. We do get damage and attack speed. And of course you can also try using minion speed to make him faster, and or maybe attack speed, but attack speed would need a bit more dexterity. Or use multi-strike. By the way, multi-strike is not properly calculated in path of building. It only counts the first hit, and on the second hit you deal 50% more damage, and on the third hit you deal 99% more damage, and those more are not calculated. So actually I was swapping increased duration with multi-strike to see how it feels, but you do get more damage if you have more weapons rather than fewer weapons which hit a bit harder. So that's gonna be it. This video is already too long. Oh, and regarding my Bob Gladiator build which I started before this, I kind of got bored of it. It just doesn't work for me very well. I'm not sure if I'm gonna finish that build. So the next video will either be Bob Gladiator or something else, but I haven't decided what. So for now, thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.